So getting ready for LSU is kind of similar to getting ready for Mississippi State in this sense. LSU started off winning 12 out of their first 13 games, and then we start the SEC season at some point, right? And they go to Kentucky, go to Texas A&M, and go to Alabama, and lose those 3 games. Well, pretty much almost everybody is going to go to those places and really struggle. They got a great home win against Arkansas and a competitive, but a loss at home to Florida. You got to try to win them at home, but so you can't just judge them, by their record in league play. KJ Williams is one of the best players in the league. He and Janai Broome both come in from the OVC. And so it's going to be an interesting matchup. They played against each other a lot. They're both having, great years for their respective teams. Both players are important to their teams. Miller's healthy for them now and, is a great 3-point shooter and a great threat. This team is better from 3 than some of the teams we played in the last few games. Last few games we've been able to kind of back off the perimeter a little bit against Mississippi State, Ole Miss, Arkansas. And this team, you can't back off the perimeter as easily because they have guys that can shoot it, which will make that be a little bit more of a challenge for our defense. And then obviously there's great familiarity between both of these programs because having played Murray State 3 times in the last 4 years or so, and Coach does a great job and they run a lot of the same actions as do we. So,
question, Mark?
Just watching LSU this year, they look like they got a lot of talent on offense and we really want to keep them from getting on a hot streak. Is that the way they play?
They're good. I mean, they're good. They're good offensively, sure. We've with the two true road games in the league, we're down 5-0 to Georgia, 19-12 to Ole Miss. So I would say haven't gotten off to a great start yet. Got to play well early, offensively they've got some weapons. They've got some guys that can shoot it, put on the floor, and some tough covers, and they do things inside and out. Yeah, I mean they're good. And I think they've lost just 1 game at home, right? Is that right? Yeah.
Yep.
So 9-1 at home or something.
Bruce, you mentioned defending them on the perimeter. KJ is a guy that can pull from 3. How difficult of a matchup is that for a guy like Janai, as opposed to some of the big men we've been playing that don't have that kind of range?
Yeah, stretch 5s make every offense better. And, of course, that's what everybody runs in the NBA now is, all the 5 men can shoot, so it just spreads the floor and puts a unique challenge on your defense. It won't be any more of a challenge to Janai or Dylan, who are both really good perimeter defenders, but it'll just make all the things they do offensively and their spacing so much better because you have to guard him on the perimeter.
Bruce, Wendell is averaging, I think, 20 points, 5 assists the last few games in this winning streak, cut down his turnovers. Just the response he's had, from kind of a tougher stretch of games. And just how important has that been to the team as a whole when he's clicking like this?
Well, it's been, Wendell's clearly one of our best players and one of the best players in the league. He's been very locked in, from a standpoint of both his physical and his mental, preparation and trying to maintain that consistency. He's done it on both ends of the floor, which I think is really important. And I think one of the keys also, though, is that he's going to, just like anybody would prepare for us, he's going to get a lot of the scout. He's going to get a lot of attention. And then just from that standpoint, it's really important that our guards, all of our guards, continue to play better, so that we don't have to put so much on him. I thought that, I thought Zepp and KD played really solidly at both ends of the floor against Mississippi State, and I can see them both, being older players, continuing to play better. And Trey's got to continue to improve and give us quality minutes when Wendell's not on the floor.
Right.
Bruce, Leor came in and kind of gave you quality minutes on Saturday, especially at the end of the game. How does he stay locked in like that? Sometimes not playing, sometimes playing important
Yeah.
at the end.
One of the interesting things about being on a scout team sometimes in practice is, unlike let's say we're playing a 10-man rotation and 6 through 10 aren't getting, 25 minutes a game. Leor is he's the other team's best player every day in practice, so he's actually kept his whole game sharp because we rely on him so much in practice, and so now that he's in the rotation, he's just obviously ready, but it could tell you that we got thin in a hurry when all of a sudden to close out a game I got Al playing the 4. And he's never played a minute of it all year. Leor playing a 3. He's hardly been out there, and he's out there at crunch time with Jalen Williams fouled out and Chris Moore unavailable. So that's the great part of a team is, and we've talked to the guys about that. What a blessing to be able to have a player like Leor to be able to come in off the bench right and ready to fill in.
And do you have any update on Chris Moore?
Chris Moore will travel with us to LSU.
Jeff?
30 straight appearances now in the AP top 25. Is that something that I know you talked about making history? Is that something you feel like the guys are locked in on?
We have talked about making history. I have talked about that, to the team. I think the thing that anybody would wrap their arms around is just the trying to have a level of consistency of competitiveness in sports, and so I'm proud of this team to have been able to put themselves in position to make history. Real history is made in March, not in January, but it's still significant. And it sends a message to the world of college basketball or our fan base or prospects that that this is not a flash in the pan, that this is a top 25 program.
Wanted to ask you about Walker Kessler, also 2020 game yesterday, first Jazz rookie you'd ever
Yeah.
had Karl Malone back in the day. What do you see from him this season?
Yeah, I'm so happy for Walker and so proud of him, and just really not terribly surprised. He was the best player in the air in college basketball a year ago. And that means when he's blocking shots and rim protecting defensively, and when he's in the air finishing around the rim, he's got great hands. He's got such incredible length and athleticism. Danny Ainge again. He's proven to be one of the top general managers in all of the NBA. With the job he did with the Celtics and what he's done at Utah right now. It's just fun to see Walker playing with even more confidence than he played with here, which is just wonderful. He belongs. And I'm sure that the other players that he's playing with, the Lauri Markkanens, who was a guy that Lauri Markkanen was a guy that we showed Walker a lot of when we were recruiting him and also when we were coaching him, just to try to get him to be that inside-outside type player. And so here he is playing alongside one of the guys he tries to emulate his game. And I know that, and there's so many great veterans on that team that are able to give Walker, a level of confidence. So And then it was fun last night watching Jabari talk to LeBron about the fact that, hey, my dad played against you in your first game in the NBA. And, LeBron appreciated that, and then got a chance to meet with Big Jabari after the game, which it was so awesome to see, and we've had, we had so many, it just reminds you of so many great families that we've had, the Kesslers and the Jabari Smith's family, just incredible. And, Isaac Okoro's family and Coop's family and just so many former players that, Jared Harper's family, Bryce Brown's, all these, they're part of our family still, And so you're happy for the players, but you're also happy to see them do well, and you're happy for their families.
Thank you. Bruce, speaking of rankings, FAU's in the top 25. You had a chance to talk to Casey.
I haven't, but my guys have, and so that's awesome, for KT and to be able to be down where his wife's from, and right now he's on a great coaching staff, and they're having a fantastic year in a really good league. So it's a great move. I'm happy, for all my former assistants that are out there doing well.
I guess probably one of the disappointing things about last week's game was finishing, getting the ball up court against pressure. How big a deal is that to get that solved?
Oh, I think we'll get it solved. There were some things that we struggled with that we have to improve on. That could certainly cost us a game, but I think it was we went through some things. There'll be some teaching points, and that's a part of it. You got to be able to close out and take care of the ball. And been a couple games in the last year or two where that's been an issue. Hasn't cost a game yet, but it can.
All right, sure. So thank you guys.